Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here to share my experience of building AI tools to accelerate our internal teams. I've been here all day, and I've actually seen a lot of similarities between what I'm going to say and what Natalia said and what people before said. So that's good. Before we start, I'm going to talk a little bit about the company and the problem we faced, so you all know a little bit about those operations that we needed to optimize. Intelligencia AI is a B2B company operating in the pharmaceutical space. Through our platform, which is AI-powered, our users, in their majority pharmaceutical companies and biotechs, can see predictions about the drugs they are currently testing in a clinical trial. Those predictions will tell them how likely the drugs they are testing are to get approved by the Food and Drug Association, the FDA in the United States. And this is important information to have in advance because developing a new drug can take up to 10 years. It can cost between $1 to $2 billion. And Natalia said before that 85% of machine learning projects fail, but also that's the same for drugs. Approximately 85% of the drugs that are currently tested will fail. So by knowing in advance which drugs are more likely to succeed, pharmaceutical companies can prioritize these drugs and get them to the market faster. So what makes our predictions accurate is the fact that really good quality data sits behind. Our data comes from a variety of sources, more than 14 I think we parse systematically, and we have a lot more. They range from medical databases, clinical trial database in the US, company announcements, scientific literature, random articles online, and it's currently captured through a mix of automations and human curation. We have a team of about 50 biologists, all experts in the field of drug development, that daily capture that information from the various sources. Now, what was the problem? At some point, about 3 years ago, we realized we were moving slower than we wanted. We were slower than we wanted to offer our product, those predictions, in more disease areas. The reason for that is that the majority of the sources that we consume are free text. They are very prone to errors and typos. There is very limited standardization. The same drug can appear with different synonyms according to the sponsor. The same word can mean different things depending on the context that surrounds it. So that meant that the team was not curating things as fast as we wanted them, and the temptation was there. The problem statement was, as a product team that focuses on building the tools and enabling that team, the problem statement was, how can we accelerate the team without jeopardizing the quality of the data? The temptation to use AI to answer this problem was there, having in mind that half of our R&D department is data scientists. At the same time, the LLM hype appeared, and we made a leap of faith. At the time, LLMs were not suitable for data extraction, but we believed that at some point in the future they would be. So we invested a little bit of our R&D capacity to pick up skills and build some pipelines so that when the models would be better, we would be able to capitalize from that investment. It was kind of a side project inside the R&D team. Did it work? Partly it worked. So we did build the skills internally. We did create momentum in the company around AI and LLMs, but we didn't see any efficiencies in our curation team. So our biologists were not faster in data extraction. 6 months later, we took the problem statement in the leadership team during the OKR discussion. And at that time, we evaluated whether it was worth it to divert part of our R&D capacity into building AI tools to make the biologist team faster. It all comes down to revenue, and at that point, we decided that offering our product in more disease areas would open up more customers for us, rather than continue to build the same product with new features. The next step, after we prioritized it on the roadmap, was to focus on select the use case that was appropriate for this. Now, LLMs at the time were very prone to hallucinations, were not dealing with edge cases very successfully. So we focused on the use cases that had a medium business complexity. How this worked for us? After a couple of iterations, we noticed that we could build and deploy and productionize a model within a couple of weeks, but the accuracy was about 50 to 70%. And in the company, in Intelligencia, our benchmark for data quality, data accuracy, is approximately 98 to 99%. So it's quite high. So 50 to 70% would not cut it. We then spent another 2 to 3 months to increase that accuracy by another 10 to 15 percentage points. And then we would spend a lot longer to try to get it higher to 90%. I was exhausting engineering capacity with no result. So we went back to the drawing board and tried to look at the product development process again to try and optimize it. This one. I'm going to talk about the things that didn't work for us and how we tweaked our approach so we could improve. The first thing that we noticed, the first thing I realized, and that is a rookie mistake, I think, in product management, is not using people from the end user group during product development. For resource reasons, we used a PhD scientist who was an expert in the field of drug development, but was not part of the end user group. That meant that the tool failed to adopt the business logic in the team and the operational processes, and it failed. So in the next iterations, we partnered directly with people from the end user group, and they partnered with us during problem discovery, during training of the model, during testing, and their feedback went back into the model to improve it. Those people also acted as champions in the teams. So they taught the end users how to, the biologists, they taught them how to use the tool, they answered questions, and also they evangelized about the tool. And even though the tool was not accurate enough, as we saw in the previous slide, they told them to hold on, the model would get better. The second rookie mistake was thinking that because I'm going to build a product for my colleagues, for internal teams, I can be very fast on this, and I can deliver an MVP very quickly. But the MVP was not the minimum viable product, it was a minimum product. It was not viable. As we saw, it was accurate 5 out of 10 times, and it caused a lot of fatigue within our end users. So the third mistake, which was not a mistake to begin with, but we should have probably aborted this approach earlier than we did, was to have our human curators review the output all the times, the AI output 100% of the times. Because we were only accurate 50% of the times, we did not have the confidence to release something without human review. At the time, I remember I was thinking, we are accurate 50% of the times, so for sure we're going to make them faster, because 50% of the times we are correct, so there is less work for them. Which was wrong. Because I think Ioannis mentioned that, but accountability is important. So our biologists were accountable for the data quality. And because they were accountable for that, they would not just review the AI output. They had to read the raw data. They had to form an opinion about what had to be extracted before reviewing the AI output. So in the end, with those first iterations, we created more work for them. Now, the best practice there is to identify those use cases where the AI is reliably correct. In that case, you can exclude those cases from the human review and have the experts focus on the more complex cases where you're not confident. Originally, this did not seem like an option to us, but scrutinizing the use case, and I think that's where a product manager can add real value, we did identify the tasks where AI was better and we could afford some tasks without any human review at all. Another thing is the quality. So AI, at the moment at least, is not accurate all the times. So the best practice is if you can accept lower quality, go for it. In our case, we could not. But what we did identify is the fact that we can do with a lower quality in some moment in time, and then fix the quality later when we expose that data to the customer. And that was also very helpful to us. Working with the data science team, I think it was mentioned earlier, but data scientists have a more exploratory mindset. They don't move in sprints, they move in cycles, they move into the sphere of the unknown. Creating a product means you create a structure, you systemize something. So these two worlds kind of collide. What I found very helpful was to work with the data science team in forming a hypothesis together, and also making sure that we have agreed on the success metrics in advance. And those success metrics should not just be the data science technical metrics, but they should also include the product metrics. In our case, we had a lot of metrics around the user impact and the user satisfaction. So how we build now? We build when we have a problem, not when a new technology comes out, because we tried that. We tried that as a side project without buy-in from the leadership, and it was not productive. We also do not underestimate our internal users. We build for them as we would do for external customers. We start small, and we also incorporate transparency. In our case, transparency means we don't hide the raw data from the user. We provide the rationale, and we also provide the confidence. Another thing that I did not mention that was very important. In the past, I was used to building a tool and delivering it to the team who was going to use it, and that's it. Now, I make sure that the operational process, so how people are going to use the tool, what they should expect from it, the whole process in their day-to-day is part of the product deliverable. And in fact, instead of trying to embed an AI tool in the existing workflow, we found it more impactful if we recreate the workflow from scratch with the AI embedded in it. Thank you very much. If there are any questions now or later, please let me know.
Yeah.